Hello everyone, welcome to Green One Day at a Time. This is a quick February tour of the allotment. In fact, this is our first visit back to the allotment in 2021. They are harvesting carrots. This is not the last harvest. We sowed the carrots back in March. Last March, we harvested as and when we needed, and in the same space, wherever there was, we sowed carrots again. And we've harvested 2 or 3 times before, and I think this will be the last harvest from this section. So the plot looks very scruffy and weedy. That's because we haven't done much. We had cleaned quite some while ago, but it needs more maintenance now. This is purple sprouting broccoli. It's starting to sprout, but not a lot to see. One of my main tasks for today is to get 2 plots ready. So there he's doing the 2 plots for sowing broad beans. But the soil is so wet, it's getting very difficult to work on it. This is spinach, kale. So kale are all going into seeds. So I will be pulling it out very soon. The Brussels sprouts is not at all healthy. Look at the size difference between the plants. They are supposed to be as big as the purple sprouting broccoli plants. But because these plants stayed in their pots for quite some while before they were planted into the allotment, they all became stunted. Kohlrabi, purple kohlrabi, in fact, they're doing okay. I don't know if they will give me kohlrabi, but they don't look unhealthy. In fact, the leaves look happy. So I might leave it in for some while and see what happens. That side of the plot is empty, and this plot should be having some parsnips in it. We've been doing our work all along. She's sitting here and picking up little carrots that she can see. She's very happy doing it. So the main task for today was to harvest carrots, get 2 or 3 plots ready for further planting and sowing. And I think we will be coming in the following days to put some manure and compost for the berries. The carrot we got from that little section of the plot. It's almost 5 kilos. So it was a very good harvest. The plots my son was trying to get ready to sow some broad beans were too wet, and it was difficult to work on it. So we left it for a couple of days till the sun was hot enough, and it didn't rain for some days. So today we came up to the allotment to sow some broad beans. So what I'm doing right now is collecting all the stones in the plastic bag, removing all the cardboard, the leftover cardboard, and breaking down all the clumps so that we can sow the broad beans. To sow broad beans, you can sow them in autumn, or you can sow them in spring. The varieties I have are spring sowing varieties. So what I have done right now is I've measured 10 centimeter. So on my dibber there is 10 centimeter mark. I use that as a marker, and I made markings on the plot with 10 centimeter apart, so that those are the rows for the broad beans. So there are 4 rows here in this plot. I got 4 rows. Broad beans need quite a lot of space, more than what you actually think. The packet also says how much apart they should be. So they should be this rows should be 9-inch apart. I've given 10 centimeters apart, and the seeds should be sown 2-inch or 5 centimeter deep, because they are very tall. They are tall and heavy plants, so they need a deep anchoring for them to stand upright. I'm using a cane here to get straight rows, just to mark on the soil, and then I will use the rake or any tool that you have, and you can make a trench. So the dibber, the spade I have has 4 centimeters marked on it, so I will use that as a measurement, and I will make a trench, 4 to 5 centimeter deep trench. Last year on this plot we had sown amaranth seeds and a courgette plant and a lot of tiny toms. So this year I'm going to do broad beans. I don't know if you can see the variety, but I'll put up the name on the screen. This is the green bean variety. Sowing is quite simple. It should be 20 centimeters apart. The seeds should be 20 centimeter apart, or for me the easiest version is to use my foot as a measurement. I'm repeating the same on the last 2 rows as well. Just digging a deep trench, 4 to 5 centimeter deep, and placing good seeds out of the packet around a foot and a little apart. So altogether I can get around 5 seeds in each row. Now all that is left is to cover the trench back and then water them thoroughly. The allotment I have is full of clay soil. There are 2 ways to tackle clay soil. Either the first method is to dig in a lot of organic matter like horse manure and compost into the clay and make the soil much lighter, or the method I follow is to use compost as a top mulch. So over the time the compost can work its way through the clay. The advantage with this method is that I will have a lot less work of digging and turning and mixing in organic matter into the compost, and the overhead cost will also be less. So that is what I'll be doing here as well. Now I'm going to repeat the same on the second plot, this time with the red bean. Again, I'll put up the variety, the name on the screen. It's the same instruction, 2 inch deep, 10 a foot or more apart between the seeds, and 10 centimeter rows apart. So here are the 2 plots, all done with compost on the top, and I've marked the rows with little wooden stakes. The kale I have planted are all bolting, so I'm harvesting the leaves that I can consume and then removing the kale plants from the plot, so that over the next coming days I can clean this plot and get it ready for tomatoes. So with respect to tomatoes, I have to work the soil a little bit more than planting any other, because tomatoes are hungry plants. So here I'm going to take all the plants out and harvest as many leaves as possible.
I can do that. Mom, can I button? Mom, can I feel one? How many do I have? Two photo.
The harvest has not been that bad. This is a full-size leaf, and I've also got some very tiny leaves, but these will be very tender, so that can be eaten raw in salads, whereas the full-size leaves will need some cooking, so I'll be doing it in the form of side dishes or curries. I recently had some new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. I hope you all stay safe and see you soon with another video.